Hey guys, it's Aaron the Hope from MobileReviews Eh.ca, and today we are going to do a review of the Speck Candyshell Grip. Now, I was a little hesitant to do this review because I did not have a great experience with the regular Speck Candyshell, but I can safely say after using this case for, I think, almost 6 weeks now that I really like this case. The best part about this case is the actual grippy part, which is really important when it comes to handling your iPhone 6 Plus in one hand, or your 6 for that matter. The design of the case is almost identical to the Candyshell other than the ribbed parts, which are, ribbed for your one-handed using pleasure. Some might find the edges get in the way. That's what we found on the 6 version. And the back is still a magnet for scratches. Now, based on our time of the case, we gave it a score of 4.2 A's out of 5. This is actually an above average iPhone 6 case. This case ranks up there with the Urban Armor Gear and the Incipio Dual Pro, but still falls a little short when compared to the Griffin Survivor Core and the Thule Atmos X3. This isn't the highest rated iPhone 6 Plus case that we've reviewed, but I will say that I would recommend this case over most of the other top rated cases, and I'll explain to you why. If you'd rather read this review, head over to our website for our review table, and if you're trying to figure out which iPhone case to get, check out our comparison tool on our site. Real usage, real reviews. MobileReviews Eh.ca. At MobileReviews Eh, we base everything that we review on actual usage. We use them before we review them. I know, it's a novel idea. We actually do that to figure out how much we actually like the cases, and after we've kind of figured out what it's all about, we compare it against a plethora of different cases so that we can kind of give you guys the best and most consistent review. In terms of design, the grip is almost close to doubling the thickness of your iPhone, but does add a minimal amount of bulk to your iPhone in terms of width. The case fits incredibly well together, which we were a little surprised, but if you're dropping it on concrete, it will show a bit of wear and tear. The edges of the case are far enough to use third-party edge-to-edge screen protectors, and the glossy part of the case will show wear and tear, just like the regular Candyshell. The scratches aren't as noticeable as the rubber strips takes your eye away from the awfulness of those scratches. In terms of protection, the Speck Candyshell, according to Speck, is drop tested to meet or exceed military standards, but they don't exactly say how high you can drop it. From our guess, we're gonna say that you can probably safely drop your iPhone 6 or 6 Plus from a height of 4 feet, which is about texting height. Now, you wouldn't get that figure since clicking on their link for the mil standard 810G brings up a pop-up with nonsense that includes molten lava. How comfortable are we dropping our iPhone 6 Plus in the Speck Candyshell? Well, pretty comfortable. The edges of the case are quite high, so it will give your iPhone's touchscreen a bit of clearance, which is pretty necessary since Speck doesn't include a screen protector with the Speck Candyshell Grip. The case fits tightly around your iPhone, so you're not going to have a lot of dust and debris getting between the case and the iPhone. In terms of functionality, this is where the grip shines. You can easily use third-party headphones and cables. The buttons are easily accessed through the case, and the edges of the case don't really get in the way of accessing your swipe menus. As I said earlier, the edges of this case are actually quite high, and they will be more noticeable on the 6 version of the grip rather than the 6 Plus, only because the 6 Plus, the screen is so much bigger, so your thumbs don't spend as much time on the edges of the case. That's what I found anyways. Since we are talking about the screen, there's nothing covering the screen, so screen viewability is top notch. I mentioned at the beginning of the video why I would get this case over the Atmos X3 and the Griffin Survivor Core, and mostly because this is a decent case that you're probably going to be able to find easily in a big box store. The grip portion of this case, I don't know what it is about it. I can't rate this case any higher in terms of functionality. The grippiness of this case is phenomenal. I am so very, I'm going to say, in love with the grippiness of this case. It is the complete opposite of the Speck Candyshell. That case is kind of slippery and it just scratches so easily. These rubber bits that are lined for your one-handed pleasure work incredibly well with the Speck Candyshell Grip, and which is kind of why I had a really hard time taking my iPhone out of this case. If you have any questions, do leave them in the comments section below. I'd be more than happy to answer them, usually, unless you use all caps. Find us on Google+, Twitter, as well as Instagram. I'm Aaron the Ho. Thank you for watching. Pretty much the same as the Candyshell, other than the rubber ribbed parts for ribbed for your one-handed using pleasure. That is so dirty.